Welcome to another episode of the FBU podcast. Before I announce my guest, I want to tell you a story. So it was 2015 or 16, I can't remember. And it was interesting. I was dabbling in some other consulting business, and I got so fired up and excited about this consulting business that I was a part of, not an owner of, a part of. And I got so excited and fired up. I put all of my time into that. And the short story is, my business was not ready for me to be putting all of my time into that. And all of a sudden, I look back behind me and like my gym is sucking serious wind. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I need to get back in there and fire things up. Right. And so I've kind of been gone for a while, not gone, but I was there, but not mentally there. I was like so focused on other things. And it's like it's the ultimate example of your focus is a superpower. Right. So whatever you focus on will grow. I was not focused on my gym at this point in my life. I needed to be focused on my gym. And the balance sheet and profit and loss statement was telling me I needed to. the cash and the cash balance. Mike Waldron's calling me, yelling at me, like, bro, what's going on here? Right? And again, I tell these stories because like everyone thinks that like everything's been like perfect for me for my whole career, and I've had a lot of like low balances before. So I have to get back in and start firing things up. One of the first things I did was I took over consultations. I started selling again, which is great, but I need to really, fire up the marketing. And I got this idea. I'm not going to give the credit goes to the guy on the call with me who I'll announce in a second, but the credit of the idea does not go to him. The credit of the idea goes to a little Jewish boy out in California named Neil, who gave me the idea. He was a client of mine in San Diego when I was a personal trainer. And he gave me the idea to run this marketing play called a sweepstakes. And the sweepstakes, I basically told him, I was like, people are sophisticated here. They don't play the lottery, like they don't do things like this. And he had a background in social media marketing for the pro hockey leagues. And so it was doing a lot of sweepstakes type stuff. And I reluctantly tried it. I was like, I'm going to try it. And basically the play was we were going to give away like a 6 week kitchen sink membership to four people. That was a kind of the play. We had never done anything like this, like in no giveaways or anything like that. Even we at one point we were doing paid consultations. Like you can't sit down and talk to me without paying $150. Like that's what this. So we were going from that to this, and this was like, oh my God, I can't give all this away. But I tried it, and I got the idea, and I was like, you know what, I need to put all I got into this because my back was against the wall. Back was against the wall. I need to put some gasoline on this fire. And I had a friend. His name is Gus Ralph, right? And I knew Gus, and I was, I think Gus was, he was a coaching client of mine. That back when I was dabbling in coaching, when I shouldn't have been coaching, I should have been when I was coaching GR, I shouldn't have been coaching GR. I should have been running my own dang business. But I was his business coach for a little while. And he was a good gym owner in Minnesota. He had his own gym in Minnesota, then eventually moved to Texas where he ran his gym remotely, which I always can tell people know their stuff when they can run their gym remotely. So he ran his gym remotely and was starting to dabble in the marketing side. This was like back when people were, putting pieces of dog poop on Facebook and getting $2 leads. And I think you saw that, right? And was getting good at it. And the cool thing, what I knew about GR was that he was a Dan Kennedy guy like me. So he was a Kennedy guy. He knew how to write copy. He knew how to make offers. And so he wasn't there's a lot of Facebook ad guys that didn't know shit about marketing. And what I loved about GR was that he understood marketing and understood Facebook, the tech side of Facebook, which I obviously didn't. And at that point, we had never run a Facebook ad before. And so we put together this promo, and without giving you every detail of it, it absolutely knocked. I mean, the stars aligned in every possible way, in every possible way. And we ended up having the best year in GFP history to that point. I think we were about 8 years in, and we absolutely think we added $200,000 in revenue on top of what we were already doing, which was over $1 million at the time, right? Which is a big growth rate for that size of a company. And we smashed it. And the guy on the phone with me was a very, very big reason why. GR Hoff, Gym Member Machine. Welcome to the FBU podcast for the first time.
Yeah, I know for the first time, and that's a fun
It's
story.
it's a good
That
story, right?
yeah, I remember. I still remember I was pacing around. We were home for the holiday, so I was pacing around my parents' garage as I was talking you into. You're like, I need a marketing quarterback. I was like, oh, I know a guy. I know a guy that might be able to do this. Yeah, the story I tell on my side, because I know it's been a while since we've integrated our stories, is that I was growing things out of a gym that looked like it was straight out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre up in Minnesota and growing that. And so then the guy that was helping run this mastermind at the time was like, man, if you could make it grow, make a gym that looks like that grow, I wonder what you could do for something that doesn't look like it's, about to be condemned. And there you go. The rest is a very long history book for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you were my first ever ad manager. And I'm glad you said that too. You weren't just an ad manager, you were a marketing quarterback. And it's funny, there's like little pieces of GR all around GFP that still exist. One of them was we had a woman that was kind of like our, if you think, I hate to use this term because he's an absolute pervert, but the subway guy, Jared, remember the
Mhm.
spokesperson, or, think Oprah for Weight Watchers, think Michael Jordan for Nike. There's plenty of examples, right? So this woman, Kathy, she won the sweepstakes and went from like, lost like 83 pounds. And we were brilliant with getting the message out there and how we were getting the videos out. And she was brilliant in the way she was doing it. Just, again, the stars aligned and it absolutely exploded our company. But you wrote Kathy and I wrote a book together about the whole thing, the whole transformation. And you were very helpful in writing copy for the book. You wrote the back cover of the book, in addition to which there was a curse on the back cover of the book. And one woman that worked for me almost quit because I put a curse on the back cover of the book. And then
That tracks.
the one of the things that you should always do in books, especially if you're going to have a book that does lead generation, is little ads throughout the book. And so you wrote those ads throughout the book, and all of a sudden, when the book came out, we started getting people responding, to those ads, which is like, and this is all unheard of back in the day. Like
Hmm.
people are writing
Hmm.
books like crazy now,
Yeah.
but like to write a book like back, a decade ago, like no one was even
Mhm.
thinking about that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Let alone a book co-written with a client. Like I don't
Yeah.
think it's ever been done. Like I still don't think, I don't know of anyone else that's done it. But it
I
was
can't think of
like
any.
it was wild. It was a wild, wild time. And then, obviously you hung with us for a long time and, we did really, really well and things were good. And for whatever reason, things go in different directions, right? Whatever. And you kind of went in all in to the digital marketing world. And I'll let you take it from there. So like so you were kind of doing, like little stuff with people like me, client
Hmm.
work here, client work there. And then I think you realize, I was like, oh, I got something here. What the heck is, where am I going to take this thing? You pick it up from there.
Yeah. So I don't even know if you know this. I was technically a multiple gym owner. So I had the gym in Minnesota that was all mine, and then probably a little after that time, maybe 2016 or so, I started to. I was a big fan of Marcus Lemonis and the Prophet,
Yeah, great. Love that. So yeah.
and so I started to, some of these distressed gyms that we were working with. I actually created equity and partnership situations where I ended up owning multiple. Then my oldest was born in 2018. That was the same year the entire split with the past mastermind happened. And my oldest had a bunch of issues. So he had surgery like a week out from being born, continued issues, right? Like he had his last surgery just a couple years ago, right? So this
Mhm.
is he was 5 or so. He's doing great now. Like story has a happy ending, but it became very clear. It's like, dude, if my manager messes up in Minnesota, I'm not flying back to fix the gym and install a new GM for, be there for 2 months to try to keep things running and what have you. And we already had, thanks to you, right? You were the guy that originally introduced me to Rick at Alloy. We do 90% of their open alloys now, however many years
Mhm.
later. But the writing was sort of on the wall. Like, I'm pretty decent at this marketing stuff. I think I'm way better at the marketing stuff than I was as a gym owner. I could do that remotely without having to leave my wife and special needs son. And so we started to really dive into that as the main thing. I think it was July or August of 2018 that we made that move. And there's a lot of story in between there,
Yeah.
but that was the beginning of GMM. And fast forward now with the, I don't know, I don't know if I need to be the one to break the spoiler. If you need to be the one to break the spoiler, but like post this new partnership, it's like we're working with upwards of 350 gyms actively around the world, which is super cool
Amazing.
because it started
Amazing.
with Vince Gabriel being closed on my
We,
parents'
yeah.
porch.
Yeah, I was the first one.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
so. I
interesting.
think, yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Technically, a couple of other website people, like I was doing some website and a little bit of automation work here and there, but in terms of the actual, I don't know what you want to call it, like fractional CMO, like really
Right,
doing
right, right,
ads with
right.
folks and things like that, like you were definitely first.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and again, what like you might be wondering, why the hell are we talking today, Vince? Don't you own a marketing agency, and isn't GR a direct competitor that you hate and want to kill? No, he is not. So I
Not
have
anymore.
not anymore. Uh, so I sold Kiss Marketing again. I'll probably do. I told GR before the podcast. I'll probably do a whole podcast, long form, with just me yakking on the lessons learned from selling a multi-million-dollar agency and the things that come from that. But today I'll announce that I sold Kiss Marketing to GR. And the main reason, a couple of main reasons. First main reason was when I got into the agency business, I told myself I'm giving myself 5 years to figure this out and to see if I want to continue doing this. And I think, as you guys know, listening to this, sometimes businesses get to a certain level where they're going to need a different level of involvement, a different level of care to take it to the next level. And that's one of the things I was kind of faced with. I was faced with, okay, my business is based in Texas. I don't live in Texas. Very happy with what I have going on and with the SPF mastermind and things like that. And was I willing to do what needed to be done to take it to the next level? And to be honest, I just wasn't. I wasn't. And uh, you know, the good thing is that, and I was in a really good position that, you know, GR was interested in the company in addition to a few other people were interested in the company. And I went with GR. And here's why I went with GR and GMM Machine. I think this is important. The first thing is the story I just told. I had personal experience. Like I knew GR personally and I had personal experience. Like I know this guy knows his shit, right? He's not a branding guy. He's a direct response guy like me. So that was the first thing of like, all right, I'm picking GR because I have a personal experience with him, not only just knowing him personally as a guy, right? And one of the things, well, and let me tell a quick sidebar story. And I think this is important. There you go, GR, your moment in the sun. But this is a quick sidebar story. It's not that the story we just told of where he helped, explode the marketing of my gym back in the day. But I ran a race with GR once. And it was not it was like a Spartan race, like kind of like a Spartan race, but it was on the beach. I think it was called the Warrior Challenge. Our friend's Uncle Mike ran it on the beach in the Jersey Shore. And GR, we were like teamed up with four people. And it was me, GR, Big Tom, who you guys know I talk about all the time, and then another guy who you wouldn't know, right? And I don't know, like what was happening, or someone was cramping or something, and GR just put someone way bigger than him on his back and ran the rest of the challenge with this 300 pounder on his back. And I was just like, holy shit, like this guy ain't like he's a quarterback, right? He was a quarterback back in the day. But like this guy is like got a gear, like another level and another gear. And I was telling GR, like, how's she gonna talk about this a lot? Like that gear is important. Like the being able to have that physical gear, to be able to take it to the next level, to be able to finish and finish strong. that transfers to like everything in your life. That transfers to business, that transfers to how you deal with your family. And if like every sign of like physical struggle, it gets a little bit hard and you stop, man, that's going to show up other areas. And I saw that in GR and it was like a little bookmark in my mind. There's a little bookmark in my mind of, all right, this guy's a gamer. He's a gamer. He takes it to the next level. And so there was that. There was the really good results that he got for me. There was that I had a personal relationship. There was that he had clients that were in my mastermind that frustratingly for me at the time were in his group. Right. And for whatever reason, the agencies, it's a beast of a game. But we screwed up. Like there was, I'll be honest, like there was period. We had a few clients that we screwed up, and it was beyond repair from an agency standpoint. They stayed with us in SPF. It was beyond repair from an agency relationship, and they went to you guys. And the cool thing was they stayed with us in the SPF in the mastermind, which was great. But they were just getting their ads, but from another group. So I knew it could coexist. I knew that the businesses could coexist. But I also heard that things were going well. I heard that guys that are doing really well in my group are using GMM and they're having success, right? And then the other one, and I don't want to get into this too much, but the other one is that one made a great fair offer, but also that you kept the entire team whole. So we had, I think at the time, over 10 employees at the time. You kept everyone on the squad. You made great offers to everyone on the team and you honored the squad and all of that stuff together because, full disclosure, the other deal that I'm talking about was a better financial deal, right? And I told GR that, and I told everyone that. Okay. But the reality was the things that were coming together, in terms of me choosing GR were all of those things. And now we're, in the midst of the transition, right?
Yeah.
Which isn't
Yeah.
always clean, right? It isn't
Yeah.
always, there's been some challenges and things like that. But overall, I think it's been a good transition. It's a good thing, and we're super excited for our new partnership, right? And that I have been pretty public in saying that I don't want to refer a lot of different companies, right? I want to find the companies that I trust, that I believe in, that I know do good work, that I know care about the customers, right? And I do know you care about your customers based on your churn rate, right? And that was another thing, when someone tells you the churn rate of their company, that can tell you a lot about them. And your churn rate was ridiculous, like for an agency, right? Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I've been public about my relationship with Perform Better. I've been public about my relationship with Jason DeRose over at Gym Subs. We're starting to do some more stuff with my friend Summit at Nomley. And now Gym Member Machine. I think there might be another one. Oh, of course, Mike Waldron, my best friend in the world, Mike Waldron, Carmel Valley, who is so busy right now. He's like, stop sending me people. So I sometimes don't even include him. But so I have like a really good nucleus now of vendors, partners, whatever you want to call them, of stuff that I know gym owners need that I either don't provide or no longer provide. And now I can trust that they're going to go to a place that they're going to get taken care of. And then the other thing that was it allows me to focus, the other thing I didn't say, this allows me, not having an agency allows me to focus on what I'm best at. And that is coaching gym owners and helping gym owners make more money and helping gym owners grow and expand and, withstand all the challenges that come from owning a business. Like that is my superpower. That is my thing that I do best. I'm not an agency guy. I understand marketing on a high level, but I'm not getting in the weeds like these guys are getting. And so I'm super excited about the partnership. I'm excited about Jeff GR. He's speaking at our next event coming up in November, and our big one coming up in end of February and into March. So, GR, thanks for being here. That was a long intro.
That was a yeah. That was a.
Was
Does
that
that
the
break the
intro?
record for intros?
Yeah, that was the intro. Let's start. Well,
So,
just tell us.
time to talk about
Yeah,
aliens.
tell us a little. Give us like a little elevator pitch of GMM. Like, give us a little bit of what you guys do and who you're working with, and just tell everyone.
Yeah, I mean the easiest way to I think the old elevator pitch when we used to do our own podcast was like we're here to help gym owners grow in ways that you and your team and your community and the people you serve and not least importantly your bank account are going to feel great about, right? So we were very much a growth partner for the boutique training gym. So if you're a major health club, we don't have a service for you right now. If you're yoga or in that ancillary sort of fitness industry space right now, we don't have anything to help you, right? We're trying to, as Vince said, I think so eloquently, focus on the thing that we want to be the best in the world at, and that is helping boutique training gyms grow. And we are very much I like to consider us a full service marketing partner. So we'll help you with your ads and your Facebook and your Google and your Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. We've got, I think, now paid ads are hard and we can do some expectation setting later, right? I don't think they're magical. Well, I think we're probably the best in the world at helping gyms like the gyms in SPF grow. Paid ads are still hard. And so, as hard as those things are, we also have a website product that I think is the best in the industry. So, as many expectations as I'll set on the ad side, our website product is amazing, really great design, search engine optimization, conversion optimization, all the things on that front. And then we tie it all together with the automation. So I don't try to keep it a secret. I think every marketing agency on planet Earth now is using Go High Level as the bones
Yeah.
of their software. So we do full service, Go High Level sales and marketing automation. And the way I describe that to gym owners is like, yeah, you know, you can go get Go High Level and you can get it relatively cheaply. Every agency has it. It's kind of like, dumbbells and barbells and plates. So my guess is you, dear gym owner, you, dear listener on the other side, probably feel like you do a way better job at using the equipment that you have, even though it's the same equipment that the gym down the street has. Why? Because of the service and how well you put your programs together and how well you coach and handle and respond to your clients and so on and so forth. So we tie it all together with, done for you work on the automation front. Our biggest bragging points on folks that come to us from other agencies is that we will often solve problems faster than other people respond. So I don't think it's a secret to the people that are listening to this. For many of them, it's probably the first time they've heard of who the hell I am, right? Like I am not industry famous, not famous at all, certainly, and not even industry famous. But our agency's churn rate has been at or around 2 to 3% churn for the past 5 or 6 years since we started tracking
Yeah,
it.
and
Like,
if you're listening to that and you are comparing 2 to 3% for an agency and a gym, like it's 10 times. Like
yeah,
what? No, like a gym, 2 to 3% attrition rate for a gym is good, but it's not like unheard of.
yeah.
2 to 3% for an agency is unheard of, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I eat my own dog food, so I'm a big believer that gym owners should be going to events like yours, right? They should be in masterminds, things like that. And I eat my own dog food, so I go to agency events, right? Similar to SPF for agencies. And we were at this huge event and people were on stage with these mega agencies bragging about how good 10 and 15% churn was. And I'm like, shit, are we doing something wrong? Right? Because we've been at 2 or 3%.
We're holding people at gunpoint.
Yeah. And that's so like to me, yes, the churn is a big bragging point. The other thing is that we don't do long-term contracts. So we do a simple 30-day, basically cancel anytime with 30 days notice deal, if you will, in our agreements with our clients. And even with that open door for clients to leave whenever the heck they want, we've been at or below, 2 to 3% churn. The last 2 quarters, we've actually been like 1.68 and 1.59. Like it's been a ridiculous couple of quarters for us. I think the team is just continuing to get better. And then we'll also like we will do coaching on the sales and follow-up side of things. So for the gym owners that are a little bit more, whatever the word is, mature, advanced, whatever the terms are, they've got a team that is trying to sell for them. We will coach up your sales team. So we have 4 hours of live group coaching per week, and we can do things specifically on sales and follow-up. So if we're not getting those leads to show up, right? Big problem with lots of agencies. Great. We will coach up your salesperson, your DOT, your GM, whoever the heck you need to have closing those leads on the phone, 4 days a
Yeah,
week.
and I love that. I love that about you guys because agencies are notorious for like blaming the salespeople
Mhm.
and like, oh, we got you all these leads and you just need to close better. And at the end of the day, yeah, that's true. But instead, you're helping them do it. Like you're not
Yeah.
just blaming them, you're actually
Yeah.
helping them do it. And that's actually what your topic is at the next event
Yeah.
is going to be talking about setting and closing and from a sales perspective. So that's the other thing I understand and like about you guys is that there is that understanding that hey, paid ads is not this magic miracle unicorn that's all of a sudden gonna like there's work that's created
Yeah.
from it. And if it goes well, it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I got a question. What, why is it hard? It seems to me that certain areas are hard with paid ads. And then there's other areas where it's like, doesn't seem that hard, that it seems like, oh, they did really, really well there. And this has always been a tougher area. Paid ads have worked for us, but not nearly what I see in other areas. I know, like, even Rick down in Alloy when he had his original gym. It was like a slog to get customers
Yeah.
from Facebook. Can you talk about that? Like, because like they're not all created equal. Like paid ads in certain areas are not all great. Can you talk about the difference between those two things?
Yeah, so every market is very, very different. So before you even get into the execution that happens on the back end, every market is exceptionally different. In fact, I think one of the reasons we get to say we are so good now is because back in the day when we were doing Rick stuff and it was just the prematurely graying douchebag in the basement doing his marketing, they were struggling to get 50 and $60 leads. We were struggling to get 40, 50, $60 leads for them. And so Rick, to his credit, right, would bring in everyone and their mother. I'm not going to list all the names, but he's like buddies with everyone in the industry. He'd bring in everyone and their mother to compete with us. Certain guy who went by the initials or goes by the initials AH, that's maybe written a lot of books. We had to do copy head to head, daddy's copy against his head to head. We won, by the way, against the legendary $100 million man. But yeah, like every market's hard. So he'd bring in everybody and their mother to compete against us. And one particular agency, I think they were the biggest in the space at the time, came in and talked a bunch of trash. And they said, oh, this guy, he's getting you 40, 50, $60 leads. Like, we're going to get you so many leads, you don't even know what to do with them. And da 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 da. And yeah, I don't think it was Rick. So to be fair, I can't do my Rick impression, say, GR, please come back. But it was the point of contact at the time. About 6 weeks later says, hey, GR, yeah, would you be open to coming back and doing the stuff? Because those 30, 40, 50, $60 leads look really good in comparison to 350, 400, $450 leads, right? Because every market is different. So, the reality is even pockets, because now, so there's like 120 alloys open. We're working with 105, 110 of them. And so you've got these folks that have multiple territories and they'll be in different pockets of the same suburb. You can do all the same optimizations and everything else and get very different results, even just in the same suburb. And so every market is very different. And that's why, one of the things you'll see with us is we're not going to promise you a given number of leads. I'm not going to promise you a given cost per lead, a given number of members, any of those things. Because the reality is anyone who does that either has no intelligence or no integrity, and neither one's good, right? They're either ignorant or unintelligent because every market is so different. Now you'll see differences on the back end in terms of execution as well. And that's a big variable in terms of the success that gyms will have. But I think broadly, what's made it so difficult for gyms is we are in a world of decreased trust across the board in from a marketing sense, right? So probably about 6 years ago. I don't remember how, when, and it was, I'm going to say names like Gym Launch is the biggest company to do it, right? We had this advent of the fake free 6 week challenge, the bait and switch thing. And to their credit, they did a great job growing a company that was serving thousands of gyms. And there were tons of copycats. It wasn't just Gym Launch. There were tons of copycats that were trying to do the same thing, the same
Yeah.
bait and switch fake free thing. And, I think the marketplace for gyms became very, very, very tough a couple of years after that became the primary offer, really, for, I don't want to say most gyms, but the gyms doing most of the advertising. There were probably very few eyeballs that are potential clients in the fitness space that did not see free 6 week challenge. We're just trying to get success stories. It's definitely totally free, and we're definitely not going to charge you $3.99 to $5.99 to come in to get your free challenge. And so the trust in the fitness industry is decreased a ton. So folks are more skeptical than ever because they've gone through years. The consumers that we're trying to target have gone through years of being told this thing's free, but when they show up, it's not. And so it's given, I think, gym owners a little bit of a bad name and decreased trust. Same thing in our space, right? So one of the reasons I like you, Vince, is that you're not going to promise a gym owner that they're going to be a millionaire overnight, right?
No,
Any of the gym
only
owners listening to
I
this,
think it's up to 3 weeks now. The
up to 3 weeks.
promises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but pause the podcast and go on Facebook, dear gym owner. I guarantee you're going to see 10 ads from 10 different people promising you 120 members in 3 seconds with no work or you don't pay. And if you don't believe that's bullshit, then I have a bridge to sell you here in freaking Cotulla, Texas. There's no water in Cotulla, so that should help you out. But yeah, I mean, I think folks are dealing with decreased trust. I think there's increased competitiveness, and then every market is different. I don't know if that answered the question or not.
Yeah.
In the rant. Yeah.
What does a business do to start getting that trust back? Like, so if I'm a gym owner and I'm listening to this, like, okay, cool, decreased trust. How do I start to become a business? And this is probably not an ad agency question, it's more of just a marketing philosophy question.
Yeah.
But that's why I like talking to you, is because when I talk to you, I don't feel like I'm talking to a geek, about, tech,
Click through
right?
rates.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like you and I can have a really good philosophical conversation about marketing. And so I feel good asking you this question where most people that I've asked this question to couldn't even begin to answer it, but I think it's important. So, what does a gym do if all of a sudden the trust is like out the window and there's all this skeptic and stuff? How does I'm a little gym out in, Bumblebee, in South Dakota, trying to get some clients, trying to like build a name for myself. I have maybe exhausted my referral link because I do think there is that period. I think referrals are big. It's funny, I'm doing the thing tomorrow. There was like this not big study, this study that came out, and they wanted me and a couple of Fisher and a couple other guys to do, some talking about this study. And it's just like your basic stuff, right? But like the number one way people are getting, clients are through referrals. And I do think that's true, but I don't think that lasts forever. I think that you
Mhm.
go through this period in your business where, yeah, everyone loves you. You're the new kid on the block, and like, they want to help you out. And yes, you grow your business through referrals. But after that, if you want to get to the next level, if you want to, get to, mid six figures, high six figures, $1 million business, like you're not going to be able to do it just like, oh, let me get some referrals. Like there is going to be
Yeah.
things you're going to have to do for marketing. How does one go about in an untrusting world to generate trust in the marketplace?
This could be I don't know how long you have. It could be a super duper crazy multi-parter. The first thing when it comes to the paid ads, I think, is gym owners need to adjust expectations to a
Yeah,
certain extent, right?
totally.
And so, back in the day when I was doing Facebook ads for GFP and doing Facebook ads for my gym in Minnesota, like we'd run a couple $100 budget and we'd run our, the Fit Mom, Rip Dads, what have you challenges. And we'd have people direct message us and we would have 21 people direct message. My mom would send a copy and pasted message and 19 would book and the 19 would show up and I only had time for group sales. So I would close all 19
Oh my God.
people in a group
What
orientation and
what a
consultation.
what a time.
Yeah,
What a
I know.
time.
I know. I tell people one
I
of my biggest
forgot. I
regrets.
totally forgot we used to do that, is send people direct to Messenger. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So, whatever that closing rate, it was like 90% lead to close. And for me, I had to close people in a group. Like I wouldn't do one-on-one consults. I had to get really good, selling in this group environment. And it wasn't always that pretty, but I remember in the old mastermind, I was spending 3K a month on ads and I was scared to go higher because everyone else was like, I'm spending 300 a month on ads and shit in the bed. And I'm like, I've read Dave Kennedy, but I'm still scared to go above three. And I wish, like going back, it's like when the market's good, drill, baby, drill. I wish I would have found a way to spend, 30K a month on ads for my little gym somehow. But anyway, gone are those days.
Yeah.
Right. And so part of it is expectation setting. We tell folks that, we need to be able to be healthy at 10% lead to close. That means if 10 people give you their name, email, phone number, maybe a couple qualifying questions, that one of them is coming in to buy. right? We need to be able to be financially healthy with one of those people coming in to buy. Now, part of the way we handle that at GMM is, particularly if you come in and you are not already a very healthy business with a proven conversion mechanism on the back end. So like GFP, I'm assuming right now has, the old jump start, and maybe the jump start converts really well, and y'all know your data, you're healthy cash wise, so you can afford to not make money on the front end of your ads, maybe for a couple of months if you didn't have to. A lot of gyms coming in can't stomach that when they get started with us, right? They're struggling. They've been through this like guru runaround, and they need to make money tomorrow. And so for us, we will design their initial offer so that they can make money. 10% lead to close is the first thing. Now, do we have folks that convert at higher rates than that? Absolutely. So for us, we really want to shoot for 20%. Some gyms don't get there. It can be very market dependent, right? We had a pre-sale earlier this year that did like 38, 40% lead to close during their pre-sale, closing people on Zoom. That is not the norm,
Yeah.
right? And so the first thing, okay, what do I do in an untrusting world where, well, most gyms are going to need paid ads as a part of their strategy to grow? I've only, like, maybe you guys and one other gym I've ever seen get to like 70, 80K months without doing a single paid ad, right? Because you guys were already at the $1 million mark before we started to do any of this,
Yeah,
however many years ago.
well, the exact number was 1.1 million. That's where we
Yeah.
were at when we started doing paid ads,
Yeah.
which is
And
pretty
so
crazy.
hopefully the dog can shut up. But yeah,
Nah, I
you were
don't hear.
also in business for 8 years.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
the
but
other
yeah.
gym that we saw get to that point before enlisting someone like us had been in business for a lot of years. A lot of gyms don't have time to
Mm.
wait to get to that point. So paid ads are probably going to have to be a part of the thing. From a expectation setting perspective, you probably need to set better expectations for yourself. Do not expect 50% of your leads to come in and convert, because that's probably not going to happen. To be clear to the gym owner on the other side, like, if you sit down with somebody, you better be closing it. Again, this can depend on whether or not you're selling a one-on-one or small group or what have you. But on average, I want you guys closing at 70%. When somebody actually sits down in front of you, show to close percent should be like minimum 66%. And if you're not there, then one of us can coach you up to get there. But yeah, 10% lead to close, we need to be able to make money. Stop running BS bait and switch offers, right? Like your first step to rebuilding trust is to stop digging the
Are
hole
people
that has
still
already
doing
been
it?
built.
People still doing it?
Think so. I'm still seeing it quite a bit. Like I
Because
think it's
it's
less than
funny. So there's like a little like it. It's like I was like I just want to try it once. See what happens. It's like I'm not going to, but there is like thing in the back of my head. I'm like it probably do pretty well, and then but again, the thing is what happens afterwards is the
that's
problem, right?
that's the problem. And then
Yeah.
the reputation, like we had one guy and he ended up becoming very, very successful. He was a Rick referral back in like 2021. His direct quote was, "It took me 2 years to rebuild. Like I did that
Wow.
company's thing, and it took me 2 years to rebuild my reputation
Wow.
locally." Um,
Wow.
yeah, like when we say we're going to have you do things that you and everyone else are going to feel good about, part of that idea is I'm only going to ask you to run things that I'd be okay running in my gyms.
Yeah.
Because I
Mhm.
understand, like you understand, that you're going to have to run into these parents in the grocery store aisle, or you're going to have to run into these adult fitness prospects at, your kids' games and recitals in church and school and whatever. And I don't want to be looked at with the side eye, like, oh, that's the scammy fuck that sold this thing for free and then told me it was $5.99. Like, I don't want to experience that. So if there are other ways to grow, like, we're going to help you do it that way. So stop running the bait and switch offers. I think adding as much proof, creating an overwhelming abundance of proof is
Yeah.
deeply important, right?
Totally.
So reviews, referrals, all that fun stuff. And then from a, like, if there are any really like heavy hitting copywriters, like we've done quite well with our ads for GMM by completely zigging when the industry is zagged. So like if you see our ads for GMM, you'll see it's like, I'm not going to promise you jack shit, dear gym owner, right? And it's a very jarring thing in comparison to what they're seeing with the other ads in their newsfeed. And those
Yeah.
have done very well for us. But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No, all good stuff. I want to touch on something that you were talking about before, which was like the 10% close. And I think that it reminds me of, have you done any of Dean Jackson? I think you know Dean.
And I definitely
Um,
know of Dean. I've
Dean
not
talk,
done anything with him
Dean
personally.
talks about this study that was done by the data handling inquiry service, where they basically took like a shit ton of industries and a shit ton of leads, and they were just like, all right, what are the results from this? And they basically came to the conclusion that when someone opts in for something, 50% of the people buy and 50% don't buy, right? And that's across all industries. It's not one business. It's like if someone,
Yeah.
opted in for tires, it doesn't mean they bought Goodyear tires. It means they bought tires in general, right? So don't think one company. But basically, out of the 50 that buy, this is what the study said, 15% buy in the first 100 days, and 85% buy in the next 100 weeks. And it just goes to show you that that's exactly what GR is saying. It's like a small percentage of people will buy, a very small percentage, right?
Yeah.
But then that does not mean that people on those leads that were generated, those 9 leads that GR talked about, will not buy in the next 100 weeks, which begs for the email list, which begs for
Yeah.
consistent follow up, which is all got to be part of. So it's like you can't look at this paid ad thing and like think it's going to solve all of your dopamine problems by just getting a bunch of people in the door. Like you got to play the long game, and the long game is a very small percentage will come in right away, and a bigger percentage, right, of those people will probably come over the next 100 weeks or for what
Yeah.
have you. So I think that's an important piece of knowing that when an agency helps you generate leads, you're getting clients, but you're also developing an asset. You're developing a list,
Yeah.
which, as our mentor Kennedy talks about, was the most important things in business is a
Yeah.
list. Like develop your list and grow your list. So that's a really important piece.
Yeah.
All right, we're beating this up pretty good. Where do we go from here? Do we want to wrap it or do we want to keep rolling? Do you have anything else?
I got plenty. I mean, you talk about if we go back to the why are things difficult question, I didn't even mention the automation front, right? So 6 years ago, and even go back to when you want to go in the Wayback Machine when we set up Infusionsoft for you,
Oh, yeah.
right? 6, 7, 8 years ago, gyms did not have automation as a piece of the puzzle, right? Automated texting was still super rare, even in 2018. Like we had it set up, I had set up a product with the other company
Other
that
guru.
was going relatively well. And then it was like, yeah, we want you to build this thing. We're going to give you no security. And also, we want all of your marketing clients. Good. I'm going to go out on my own. But it's more competitive. So like automated text messaging is permission to play. It's table stakes now.
Yeah.
More people have taught good follow up. And so back in the day, I remember it used to be like, oh, set your phone to voicemail and tell people that you're going to get back to them within 24 hours. Dude, now if you wait 24 hours, and I tell folks this all the time, this would be valuable. Like never work with GMM, that's fine. But if you want to make more money and then eventually maybe figure that you want to delegate it because we cost about as much as a good VA and your time is way better spent doing bigger things for your gym, like take this and make some money with it. We write really good ads. When people click on our ads, they're going to see other things in that category. This happened to me with sunglasses, right? So I click on a sunglasses ad. It was from Gooder Sunglasses. It was like fun marketing. So I click on it. I come back to Facebook. What do you think I see, Vince?
Sunglasses.
Sunglass. Yeah, it wasn't dog food. Yeah. So fucking ads from other sunglass companies. But I see Oakley and I see Ray-Ban and I see whatever other sunglass brands there are. So marketing nerd says, shit, like is Gooder a subsidiary of Oakley or like who's the big parent company? No, they're not related whatsoever. This was not retargeting from Gooder. This is Facebook saying, oh, you've clicked on an ad in this category. You're likely to opt in for it. Let me show you more things from that category. So when people click and opt in on your gym ad, that tells Facebook, hey, this person that just clicked is interested in personal training or gyms or whatever your category is. They're going to see more ads from more gyms in your area, right? When that happens. And so if you wait to do the follow-up game and you don't reach out quickly, and part of like the 10% lead to close, 9 times out of 10, the gym owner is not doing what needs to happen from a follow-up perspective, right? Like it's just a fact. And I can say that because I'm not taking the money of anyone directly on this call. But it's very likely that that other gym has been trained by somebody that's actually going to follow up quickly, that's actually going to call within 5 to 10 minutes, that's actually going to double dial, that actually has sales and marketing automation software set up to get them booked ASAP. And is actually going to try to set them an appointment for same day, next day, and get them in the door that same afternoon that they opted in for their ad after they've opted in for yours. And then when you call the next day, that person ghosts you because they've signed up for another gym. We've had this happen where the gym owner says, yeah, I'm super mad at my follow-up guy. I was yelling at you guys and I got a text back from this gal that says she signed up for another gym. It's like,
Mhm.
when that person doesn't respond, that's not a bad lead, right? That's bad follow-up. So there are absolutely bad leads. Like, trash leads are a thing, and we could go down the rabbit hole on what we do at GMM to try to increase the quality, which is a problem on any of these ad platforms. But you've got to have follow-up as a part of the puzzle.
I tell you,
And
it's funny. I always tell a story, but I was on my front porch. My neighbor's a finance guy, big guy, and he's got solar panels on his roof. And I'm on my porch looking at the solar panels, like this guy must know something. And I go to my phone and I Google to look at solar panels, and I fill out a form for like a thing to get more information about solar panels. Nothing. 3 days. 3 days later, I get a call from a guy. Hey, saw you were interested in solar panels. Give me a call back. I was done, gone.
hmm
Never thought about solar.
hmm
I haven't thought about solar panels until I retell that story. And is it possible that I guarantee if he calls me that day, I got solar panels on my roof?
At least you've explored it. At least you're an actual lead that has gone through
Yeah,
some math and gotten a presentation or whatever else. Like, that's all we can ask for
yeah.
as gym owners. But no, because we want to be slow.
So
It
you
doesn't
gotta
happen.
be fast. You gotta be fast. Let's
Yeah.
talk website.
Yeah.
I love websites. It's funny, like websites when I first kind of started my business, there was like I think it was this thing called like Flare or something. It was like these videos that you would put on the website of like these active stuff, and it was like all about that stuff. And it's like I think for the first decade, maybe more, right? Maybe more, my website was just a thing. It was not a lead generation machine, to
Yeah.
no pun intended, right? It was not
Yeah.
a thing that I relied on to generate leads. And that's been a big shift for us. Like when we had Kiss, like we actually had websites that generate leads. You, I know, are doing a
Mhm.
great job of creating websites. And I think it is, man, I mean, talk about an asset that, I mean, if you're running your own Facebook ads, you got to do the work. Like you guys obviously do the work for someone. If you set up a really good website, and even if it provides way less volume of leads, the quality of someone coming through a website
Mhm.
is likely going to be a lot higher due to intent and several other things that I
Yeah.
think you're probably going to talk about. But let's talk about websites. I know that's like your secret sauce on websites, but I am like every business needs to have a really good website that is built and designed that when someone comes, that nothing else you want to have happen except they put their name, their email, and their phone number in there. Because if they leave and they don't do that, they ain't coming back. So talk about websites and how important they are
Yes.
and why,
Yeah.
what separates the GMM websites from everything else.
Well, I think this is a good point for folks that are shopping marketing providers, because there are lots of folks now that will sell a website, right, as part of their marketing engagement with you. And things that I would be looking out for if I was a gym owner that was going to, have somebody rebuild the website. Number one, what's it built on? So at GMM, we don't build it the easy way. We build it the hard way. It's harder for us, but it's better for the client. So I messed up lots of things, messed up a ton. We can go have another 3 episodes on things I messed up in my first gym, right? One thing I did not mess up was the number one core value has always been treat everyone like they're your mother, your brother, your child, right? And so we build our websites like the gym owner on the other side is my brother or sister or mom if they're older, right? Whatever it is. And so we build them all on WordPress. I'm seeing stuff out there now that is a just maybe this was too mean, but I'm an asshole. So here we go. Just terrible websites that are built on go high level. Why? Because it's simple, right? You can templatize and snapshot that and get the client a website in
Right.
a couple hours. And it is dog shit for SEO. They look awful. Sorry, maybe that's more subjective or objective or whatever. Subjective is the word. I can speak English, but they're just not built right, right? So you need for the typical gym that's in a more typical market, less competitive, you need very good fundamental SEO setup on the front end. That's like basic shit. H1 tags and H2, and make sure you got the location mentioned and good maps and da 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 da. You gotta have good design that looks good. So we want our clients to be stalk proof across the board. All right. And I get to say this too, because I'm not just trying to keep people's money. A lot of times folks will say the website's doing so well that we want to turn off the ads. Most of your lead flow through your website, again, assuming that you're running good ads, is actually going to be people clicking over,
Yeah.
direct Googling you from your ad, what have you. And so you want to be stock proof because those are the people that are doing the homework, creating a more qualified prospect, right? Doing the work to have themselves become a more qualified prospect for you that then go to your website. Your ad is the blurb, it's the elevator pitch. Your website is your chance to really separate yourself
I
from
think
the
that's a
competition.
hold on. I think make a placeholder for where you're at, right? Because
Yeah.
I think that's a really important piece of this, of like looking at the Facebook ads is not just how they're directly doing, but almost creating this omnipresent situation where it's there and it's happening. I equate it to the drive-by on a main road, where you drive by a business and you drove by that business so many times and so many times and so many times, and all of a sudden you
Mhm.
see it so many times, you eventually, so Facebook ads do that. It provides that omnipresent situation that eventually maybe they saw it and they didn't even respond to the ad. Like you just said, they Google you, they go to the website, and the website's a better place for them to convert because they're just
There's more
there's
context.
more intent right behind it,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
I think that's a really big piece of it. And I talk about this concept called the marketing glove that I
Mhm.
teach all the time, that it's just like multiple ways to generate leads. And Facebook ads, even if they're not doing well, like even if you are getting 5%, right? It's still probably worth it if it's helping the other things that you have going on to be able to generate it. So I think that's a really good important point.
Yeah, we've
All
got,
right,
we've got folks
go
that
back to where you were.
crush it with. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell this brief story first. Like we've got people that crush it with events, right? Like doing the local farmers markets and local events and things like that. And they've been really putting a lot of effort into it for the
Mm,
past couple of years. And they say all the time, it's like, yeah, we had like three people approach us at the booth saying, like, oh yeah, like I've seen your ads dozens of times, right? And then finally that person becomes a lead when they happen to be at the same event
right.
that the person's at. So right, they don't attribute that lead to Facebook ads, right? Definitely don't do that. And they're great people, so they're not like trying to have that fight or what have you. But it's just an example of
The
it
way
is part of your
the way to
omnipresence.
think about it is like you're if you go out fishing and it's like you have to keep like throwing the pole in the water and you reel it in, and throwing the pole in the water, reel it in. Like every time you take the pole out, you ain't gonna catch any fish. Right.
Mhm.
And that's what a lot of people do. Like they try Facebook ads for a month and then they stop. And then they try it and like, oh, let me do,
Yeah,
oh, it's the holiday, so let me run an ad. It's like, no, like you're gonna catch
yeah.
way more fish if you just keep the pole in the water. And the only time you reel it in is when a fish comes in. And right when it comes in, you bring it right back out. And it's like just keep the thing going all the time. These guys that like shut off their ads, like, oh, I'm going to shut it off for 2 months. And it's just like, why? Like, why would you do that? Yeah.
When and you typically won't feel that for a couple months after because
Yeah.
like your pipeline first month after you're going to be okay, you still got people in the pipeline from your last month of ads, and then all of a sudden I've got less people to convert from my front end offer if I'm doing that. I've had some churn, and 2 months later I'm saying, GR, help me, right? My business
Right.
is going into the
Yeah.
shitter, like can we turn shit back on, right? And we don't want to do that. So anyway, there you go, good segue. Going back to the websites,
Oh, yeah. Websites.
your ads or your elevator pitch, your website is where you create your additional context and kind of, if you've got a freak flag, right, that's where you let it fly. If you've got very, nichey things, a lot of folks will say, like, I want people to understand good training and da 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 da. It's like you're probably not going to do that. You're probably not going to create a perfect client off of at most, if they're a slow reader, an ad they're going to take 1 to 2 minutes to read, right? Your website is the spot where you really create your personality and differentiate yourself from the competition. So you want to have those things that separate yourself from the competition there on your website. It needs, like, in today's day and age, there's too many tools for things to look good. It's got to look good, right? Which is a challenge for gym owners that are trying to do it on their own. A lot of times you can get something that looks good if you build it on any of these, like Squarespace. Well, yeah, you could probably create a decent looking website on Squarespace. Your SEO fundamentals are likely to be shit, right? So you want to build it the hard way. You want to have one friction-free door. So have a very simple, clear call to action. I don't want to be distracting people with a
Yep.
bunch of stuff. I want them to have one spot to convert. That should ideally be tied to a sales and marketing automation software. So you're not waiting 5 days to get back to, let alone 5 hours to get back to a website lead that is highly qualified, ready to do the thing, because they're probably searching other gyms in the area at the same time. I think that's a relatively, I don't know if it's a comprehensive rundown, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the thing I'd worry about if I was a gym is number one, where's the website being built, right? You want to be able to look at your performance data. So we've taken clients from name a website provider, we've taken them from there. And to be clear, GMM is not just my marketing brain. So at this point, it's a team of almost 40 people, and we have made the decision to hire for scale. So it's not one smart marketing person trying to delegate a bunch of things to underlings. I am not even close to the smartest person on our team anymore. It's like we have a guy running our websites department that we stole from the biggest website agency in the gym industry. And he runs that department and runs that product. We have people in the ads department that have done nothing but gym ads for every working hour for the past 6 years, taken from other big agencies and homegrown ourselves and so on and so forth. So like our website guy is a freaking ninja. It's not just, oh yeah, our main thing is ads. And then like, here's a website that we slapped together on GHL because we're either lazy or don't know better or what have you. But for most gyms, you're not going to need crazy fancy SEO. Like we sell that as an additional service. Most gyms just need basic fundamental initial setup and should not be paying sometimes thousands of dollars a month for an SEO provider, which again, we can get into the whole rabbit hole on SEO services because that's another big black hole where people will get screwed. Yeah, that needs to be a podcast episode. How people like me screw people like you. But you probably just need good basics. And again, unless you're in Manhattan or some ridiculously competitive market where then you might need, okay, we need a consistent content strategy. We need this, that, and the other. For most folks are going to get by with a really good basic, foundational, maybe sounds better than basic SEO structure that performs exceptionally well. You need to look at speed data, performance data on
Yep. I was
mobile.
gonna say
Everything
that.
needs to be
Yep.
mobile optimized, all those things. Because if you don't have that stuff, you're likely to be falling behind.
Yeah, the biggest one that I see is just like when I go to a website and anytime someone comes through into our world and I look at their website, it's just like be clear on what the hell do you want them to do.
Hmm.
Like that's
Yep.
just like that's such an easy thing to do, but everyone has like 5,000 different things that they could possibly do. And it's just like just give them one really clean, easy thing to do. Like literally like step by step, walk them through where do you need to go. It's funny when I used to do, I think I learned this from Kennedy, but when I used to do webinars, I used to actually like walk people through the order form. Where I would be
Yeah.
like, all
Yeah.
right, guys, here's what I want you to do. Go to this URL. All right, now put your credit card number into this thing. Like it's like you want to like walk feel it's that's another whole nother conversation. But like
Yeah.
that's what you want people to do is for it to be super clear because that is like if they go and they bounce, there's a really good chance they ain't coming back. So
Yeah.
we covered a lot of ground today. This won't be our only podcast that we do. Expect to hear from GR a whole lot more. I'm super excited about the
Ooh,
partnership and the relationship. And we
same here.
have, for those of you guys, and I want to tell you, like, as someone that I've seen grow, I'm a little bit older than you, but as someone I've seen grow up and have had the opportunity to coach and mentor, I'm really, really proud of you. I'm really proud of the business that you built and the company that you built. I know it's based on integrity. I like to see you winning. I like to see you successful. I think you're a straight shooter, an upfront, honest person. And so, I'm excited about the partnership. I'm excited about the alignment, and I think you're doing really good work. So I'm proud of you. Keep rocking and rolling. You're doing great. And, you know, take care of everybody over there for me. All those
We're doing our
all
best.
those kiss guys. All right. All right, last thing for you guys for you good students that stayed to the end, we have a gift for you. So GNR, in celebration of the announcement of this partnership, we've put together a special offer, and we're going to make it very, very clear on what you need to do to redeem this special offer. But GR has so very generously offered for the first dozen people. And just know if you're listening to this on a podcast, this is going out via my emails as well. You guys know that there's 20,000 plus gym owners on my email list that are going to get this same offer. We are locking it down to 12 people. So to the first 12 people that sign up for GMM will get $500. Can you tell me that what is it? $500 just the first
Five
month
hundred dollars
or
off. Yeah, yeah, five hundred
like,
dollars off the first month for the not recurring.
oh,
Sorry,
not
I have
recurring.
to
Okay.
send three kids. I have to send three kids to college. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But $500 off the first month, so we can win you over and make you decide you never want to try another marketing boyfriend or girlfriend again. Is the idea, and it's 12, yeah, partially because of, look, guys, like you don't get 3% churn and 2% churn and 1.68. There's 1.68, 1.59% churn the last 2 quarters by slapping everybody on the same thing,
Yeah.
right? This is a lot of custom work. We work very closely with every gym owner that comes through our doors. And so we want to make sure that we can take care of you guys. One thing I will not jeopardize with any business I'm a part of is taking care of the clients that trust us, right? With a tiny part of their business's growth. So we're limiting it to 12. My birthday's this month and it's 12. So we're keeping a little bit lucky for a number that is still small enough for us to serve the hell out of and hopefully help take your gym to another level here before the new year.
Beautiful. So it's $500 off for the first month. The
Yeah.
URL is just join.gymmembermachine.com/Vince.
Yep.
That is the URL, join.gymmembermachine.com/Vince. We'll put that link in the show notes as well. And the cool thing is go through the process, like go through and talk to them. I know you guys have the what you advertise as your super duper high
Super duper
pressure.
high pressure, get to know you call. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I see that in your ad. The super duper high pressure get to know you call, but it's just like good, like give a good way about the tongue in cheek marketing of saying things like that. But yeah, I'm really confident, and this is the only agency that I'm going to be recommending. There's a lot of options out there, and this is my choice based on a lot of factors, right? A lot of factors that I mentioned earlier, like an hour ago in this podcast of why I've made this call and why I've made this decision. But I'm excited for it. So if you want to be one of the first 12, get in on GMM. They're doing good work. Join.gymmembermachine.com/Vince. GR, nice job today. Well done.
Yeah, I think you did great. I appreciate the hell. Didn't think I was going to cry on the
Oh, did you cry? Did you shed
podcast.
it? Did you
I
cry?
think it was a
I didn't.
tear. I think it was an invisible tear.
Oh, on
That
which part?
the
On which
shot.
part? Which part?
That's just the part where you're so kind. That's all. That's all.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate you.
Awesome, brother. Well, we'll see you. We'll be back on a podcast soon. Very excited for you to come out to New Jersey to speak at the next mastermind meeting. That'll be at the new GFP. I don't think you've ever seen the new GFP before. So thanks for listening, guys. Head over to join.gymmembermachine.com/Vince and get over to GR and his cronies, and they'll take good care of you. Tell them I sent you. Peace.
Yeah.